first thing is the counselor is going to want you to be safe. And so they're going to be talking about how often does that happen? When that happens, do you possibly have a plan? Are you thinking about what it is you're going to do? Or is it just kind of a thought that comes and passes? Counselor's going to be very comfortable going there with you. It's not going to be something that they haven't heard before. And what they want to do is make sure that you're heard, that you're safe, that you have some tools of what to do when that happens. So they're going to maybe do a risk plan with you. They're going to talk about if those thoughts start happening, what are you going to do? And what resources are available to you in those moments? They may want to work with you on putting together maybe like a little box that has some things inside of it that will help remind you in the moment of the things that are different ways of coping with how you're feeling. They will be working with the idea that when a client is thinking about hurting themselves in some way, it's because they're really in distress. And at that moment in time, that is the only solution that's coming to mind for them. We're not going to demonize that you had a thought. We're going to talk to you about how you're feeling and what else might be something that you can do in those moments. What are other solutions for you? What are other things that help you feel better in those situations? But there will be no bells or whistles. It's not going to be a scary thing. Counselor's there to help you get what it is that you need for what's happening to you. And so be honest with your counselor, because if we know what's going on for you, then we can really help you. I'm going to back that up a little bit and say that if you have a clinical diagnosis like bipolar disorder or borderline personality disorder, you should be working with a psychiatrist and a GP on medication, on proper treatment, and counseling may be part of that. Counseling may be support to the other things that are happening in your treatment plan. Yes, counseling can be really helpful, but you want to be working in conjunction with your doctor, and you want to be working with a counselor that has a background and a training for what's happening for you so that they have a sensitivity to what your counseling looks like. Some counselors will work short-term, some counselors will work long-term. I work short-term, which could mean 6 weeks to 3 years, but meaning that I'm working towards an end in counseling. I'm working towards a client reaching the goal that they have come to work with and feeling that they've completed. Whereas if someone has a bipolar disorder or a borderline personality disorder, counseling is going to be something that's long-term for them. And it's a different kind of work. And so you want to be sure that you're working with the right counselor if that's what's going on for you. So sometimes a client may want to bring their partner or a friend for different reasons. It might be because they're uncomfortable. They want just the backup of someone else there. Sometimes it has something to do with the relational aspect of the person who's in the room. Maybe it's about them getting support. Could be all kinds of different reasons. It's a different kind of counseling when you're working with two people in a room. So there is specific training for that. And so if that's something that you're wanting to happen, you're going to want to make sure that the person that you're working with has training in systemic counseling is what we call it. So whether that be a family system or a relational system, that they're going to know how to work with two people at the same time. What I would say is you come to counseling because you have something going on, whether it's a way that you're feeling, a challenge that's come up, a grief that you're experiencing, and you're going to lay that out at the beginning with your counselor. You're going to have a goal that I would like to be where I'm feeling more confident, or I would like to not be feeling anxious or having panic attacks or something of that nature. You're going to have a goal when you start. And it's for you and the counselor to be working together on achieving that goal. Now, what may happen is along the line, some other things may pop up. And you're going to work with your counselor on what you want to do with that. So sometimes I work with somebody who's come because they've lost their job and they're feeling they don't know what's next and that they want to work through that period of time. And while doing that, something else may come up that they've never addressed. And so what the counselor is going to do with you at that time is they're going to bring that to light and they're going to say, so I'm conscious that you've talked about some things that have happened in the past, the trauma maybe that has happened to you in the past that it feels like you may not have touched on. And at this moment, I'm just going to hold it here, and we're going to not bury it. We're going to be conscious of that this came up, but we're going to continue to work on what you came for, unless you feel that you would like to change the counseling direction now, and the goal now is here instead of here. And that may change the length of counseling. So to answer, how do you know when you're finished? What I would say to my clients is when you realize that it's Wednesday, and Wednesday is counseling day, and you think to yourself, oh, it's Wednesday, I'm going to see Wendy today. I'd like to see Wendy today. Don't know what I'm going to talk about, but it'll be nice to see Wendy. That's how you know that you're ready to end. I hope the answers to those questions were helpful to you. It's been a pleasure.